Chapter 1. Sasuke returns from the modern world. Early morning. Uchiha Sasuke's eyes snapped open from deep sleep. Disoriented, he sat up in bed looking around the all-too-familiar room. Yet, for a moment he couldn't tell if he was dreaming or awake. He stared blankly into space.
Was that really just a dream? If it was, it felt way too real and way too long.
Last night, Sasuke had a strange dream. In it, he lived the life of an ordinary young man on Earth. From learning to speak, to going to school, falling in love, getting heartbroken, and then miraculously lucky before his brief life came to an end.
No, that wasn't a dream.
The more he thought about it, the more details surfaced, crystal clear and vivid. That level of realism couldn't possibly be fake.
If I go by that world's logic, I was reincarnated into modern society without memories of being Sasuke. I lived a full life, and now I've returned.
That was the only explanation Sasuke could come up with. His memories of that modern life were a little hazy, but not lost, just buried. The moment he tried to recall them, they came flooding back. Once he realized this, Sasuke began sorting through the fragments of his other life. He had never imagined there was another world beyond the shinobi realm, and that modern world was dazzling. So full of life and yet devoid of chakra or jutsu. A world that vivid, where every person was just an ordinary human. To Sasuke, it was mind-blowing. But what truly shattered his worldview was the shocking truth he had discovered about this one. The world he currently lived in was actually from a manga called Naruto.
It was utterly absurd. Everything he knew, every person, every event, it was all drawn, inked, and published.
This can't be real. I don't believe it.
Sasuke was overwhelmed, his emotions surging wildly. Suddenly, his eyes began to itch. A cool sensation spread through them, calming him down.
My eyes!
He rushed to the mirror on his desk and stared. What greeted him was the reflection of a 12-year-old boy with jet black hair and a pair of blood-red eyes. 2 tomo in each eye, his Sharingan had awakened. And not just awakened, it jumped straight to the 2 tomo stage. Sasuke was stunned with joy. He had awakened a Kekai Genkai, just like that. The rush of excitement helped him finally accept the outrageous truth that this world, his world, was merely the setting of a manga.
Doesn't matter what the truth is. This world is real to me. I live here.
With his mind made up, Sasuke stopped questioning it. Instead, he began combing through everything he could remember about Naruto. He wanted to know, in the future, did he really kill Uchiha Itachi? That led him to another memory. During the upcoming graduation exam, he would be placed in a team with Haruno Sakura and Uzumaki Naruto.
One's dead last, the other's all theory and no field skill.
Sasuke frowned, clearly not impressed with his future teammates. Yet, deep down, he felt a strange warmth, an unexpected hint of joy and anticipation, because he'd be on the same team as Naruto. Ever since they were little, Sasuke had always noticed Naruto. He never knew why, but every time Naruto was around, Sasuke's gaze would be drawn to him. Especially after the massacre of the Uchiha clan, whenever he saw Naruto, another orphan, just as alone, he felt comforted. Of course, that wasn't the only reason. Sometimes he pitied Naruto. Sometimes he was angry at the way others treated him. And sometimes he was even envious. Envious that Naruto could be so cheerful despite everything. In short, Naruto was special. Sasuke continued flipping through his memories of the manga, but now he wasn't in a hurry. He watched it unfold from a third-person perspective. And with every major event, his emotions shifted again and again. What struck him first was this. The main character wasn't him. It was Naruto. That realization hit hard.
That loser? Why him?
Sasuke's pride wouldn't accept it. Sasuke forced down the rising irritation in his chest, breathing heavily as he continued digging through the manga's story. As he watched the growing friendship between himself and Naruto, he felt a strange mix of discomfort and anticipation. But as Naruto's power steadily grew, leaping ahead with every arc, Sasuke could no longer deny the truth. That so-called dead last had surpassed him. And with that realization, irritation once again took hold of his heart. When he saw how, during the Chunin exams, he had struggled against Gaara, only for Naruto to defeat him shortly after, Sasuke instantly resonated with the version of himself in the story. Frustration, jealousy, resentment, rage.
Was all my effort just a joke? Even someone like Naruto, I can't surpass him? Then how the hell am I supposed to avenge my clan?
As the story continued, it finally reached the moment when he confronted that man again. He had rushed in, full of fury, and was utterly humiliated, defeated in an instant. Looking back, Sasuke could now fully understand why he had chosen to defect from the village in that timeline.
So, that's why I defected.
Sasuke fell silent. It was a path he'd never considered before. It took a long moment before he continued reading. His emotions began to settle. The narrative had shifted almost entirely to Naruto's perspective now. Page after page, he watched the events unfold until finally he arrived at the most important moment, his battle to the death with Uchiha Itachi. And in that moment, Itachi died. But instead of feeling joy or satisfaction, Sasuke was hit with the truth behind the Uchiha massacre. The truth about the coup d'etat. About Itachi's choice to protect the Leaf and his younger brother over the clan. The truth about his secret deal with the village. And most painfully, about his love.
So, father, mother, everyone, they really were killed by Itachi.
The confirmation crushed him. Instead of catharsis, a new wave of rage overwhelmed him.
Uchiha Itachi, you really do deserve to die. How could you do it?
Sasuke clenched his fists so tightly they trembled, his eyes welling with tears. All this time he'd spoken of revenge, about killing that man. But deep in his heart, he had always held on to a shred of doubt. He didn't really believe his brother could have done something so monstrous. He had been chasing after Itachi not for blood, but for answers, for truth. He had clung to a sliver of hope, that the massacre wasn't his brother's doing. But now there was no doubt. No matter the reason, the one who slaughtered the Uchiha clan was Uchiha Itachi. His parents died by his brother's hands. That final sliver of hope shattered, and in that moment his Sharingan evolved once more, from 2 Tomoe to 3.
3 Tomoe.
Staring at his reflection at the fully awakened 3 Tomoe Sharingan, Sasuke felt his rage begin to subside, just a little. With this power, he might finally be able to stand against Itachi.
No, even if I'm still not strong enough, that bastard will hold back. The moment I awaken the 3 Tomoe, he'll deliberately lose to me. It's all part of his plan, to provoke me into awakening the Mangekyo. Then he'll offer up his eyes, so I can gain the eternal Mangekyo. Damn it! I won't let him manipulate me.
Once again, Sasuke was filled with fury. His mind was in chaos. Should he still seek revenge? Yes, he wanted to avenge his clan, but not if it meant falling into Itachi's hands like a pawn. If Itachi died, but still got everything he wanted, then he'd be free, and Sasuke wouldn't have won at all.
No, that's not the ending I want.
He slammed his fist down on the bed, over and over.
Itachi, I will kill you, but it'll be on my terms, not yours. I don't need you to hold back. I'll wait until I'm strong enough to defeat you fair and square.
It took a long time, but at last, Sasuke found a new path for his revenge. Once he had fully calmed down, he dove back into the memories, reading deeper into the manga's events, and there he discovered another truth. Uchiha Itachi wasn't the only one involved in the massacre. There was someone else. A masked man who called himself Uchiha Madara. Sasuke silently engraved that name in his heart. Another one he would kill. Resolute. He understood now. In the manga, the reason he didn't try to take down the masked man right away was because of fear of his strength, and also the desire to use him against the higher-ups of the Hidden Leaf. It was after Itachi's death that Sasuke turned his hatred toward Konoha's elders. Otherwise, how could he stand by, knowing this man helped slaughter his clan? With that, Sasuke continued reading, and as he read, he absorbed critical intelligence about the shinobi world, startling truths that left him shaken. Eventually, he reached the events of the Fourth Great Ninja War. He saw Itachi again, revived through Kabuto's Edo Tensei. He watched as his brother broke free of the technique's control, and that finally snapped him.
You bastard, you bastard, you bastard. How dare you? How could you still try to protect me?
At this point, Sasuke's face was twisted with fury and pain. He had never imagined Itachi had even left him a Koto Amatsukami, the most powerful genjutsu in existence. His 3 Tomoe Sharingan spun violently, surging with emotion.
Unfortunately, even until the very end, Sasuke's Sharingan never evolved beyond the 3 Tomoe. Yet the rage inside him refused to subside. He couldn't understand. What was Uchiha Itachi really thinking? Was wiping out the entire clan not enough? Did he also need to manipulate the younger brother he claimed to love? Feeding him lies, trapping him in hatred. No, maybe they weren't exactly lies. The truth was already out, but Itachi had still mapped out his entire life for him, from beginning to end. Sasuke seriously suspected that on the night of the massacre, Itachi had stayed behind after killing the clan, waiting just for him. He wanted Sasuke to see it, to witness the carnage through Tsukuyomi, to make absolutely sure Sasuke believed it was all Itachi's doing. As if there were any doubt, Itachi needed him to be consumed by hatred. Accusing. This wasn't just manipulation, it was control. From the moment Sasuke awakened the 3 Tomo Sharingan, Itachi had been shaping his path. He even arranged to die by Sasuke's hand, knowing his death would push Sasuke to awaken the Mangekyo. Then, to top it off, he left him his own Mangekyo to fuse into the eternal Mangekyo. It was all part of Itachi's plan. And just when Sasuke thought it couldn't get worse, he learned of one final insult, Koto wa Matsukami, a failsafe. In case Sasuke ever tried to take revenge on Konoha, Itachi had planted the ultimate mind control. A genjutsu so powerful it could overwrite free will. If activated, it would force Sasuke to abandon revenge and become Konoha's protector instead. If that happened, would he even still be himself? Would he just become a puppet, stripped of all identity?
Bastard! Damn you! You monster! Who gave you the right to decide my life? Who gave you the right to force your will on me, to make me your successor, your guardian of Konoha? You damn beast!
His breathing was ragged, his fury blinding. At that moment, Sasuke's hatred extended beyond the corrupt higher-ups. Now, he despised the village itself. The village. The village. The village. Everything stemmed from that cursed place. Itachi only became that monster because he wanted to protect Konoha.
Fine then, Sasuke growled, eyes burning. If you loved Konoha so much, I'll do the one thing you feared most. I'll destroy it. Itachi, just wait. I'll make sure you watch as I reduce it to ashes.
With clenched fists and grinding teeth, Sasuke finally found the perfect way to take revenge on his brother. Killing him would have been far too merciful. No, only by making Itachi witness Konoha's downfall could Sasuke inflict true pain and regret. Was Konoha innocent? Sasuke didn't care. From everything he saw in that manga world, it wasn't innocent at all.
Power, no matter what, power is everything. I need overwhelming strength, enough to destroy Konoha in front of that monster's eyes.
His thirst for power reached its peak. Not just the strength to defeat Itachi, but the strength to annihilate the village itself, while Itachi watched helplessly. Once he finally calmed down, Sasuke continued flipping through the rest of the manga. With the plot advancing, more secrets of the Fourth Great Ninja War came to light, and things just kept getting more surreal. The Sage of Six Paths, the Ten Tails, Kaguya Otsutsuki, all of them appeared. And then,
Uchiha Obito.
Sasuke finally learned the true identity of the masked man.
Idiot.
When he saw how his manga counterpart eventually gave up on revenge and chose to fight alongside Naruto, Sasuke was furious.
Typical. That version of me must have been swayed by those so-called bonds. He didn't even know about the Kotoa Matsukami trap Itachi left behind. Sure, joining forces to stop Obito, Madara, and Kaguya made sense. The world was about to end, after all.
Even as he cursed, Sasuke still found ways to rationalize his manga counterpart's choices, because in the end, he agreed with part of it. Konoha had to be destroyed, but the world couldn't be. He had a duty beyond vengeance, to rebuild the Uchiha, to make the clan rise again. And if the world were to be wiped out, none of that would matter. So, Konoha must fall, but the world must survive. Then, another bombshell, Indra. He was Indra's reincarnation? Sasuke's fury boiled over once more. The so-called Sage of Six Paths, his son, reincarnated in him? Angrily, he rejected it. He wasn't Indra. He wasn't anyone's pawn. He was Uchiha Sasuke. And this time, he'd decide his own fate. Sasuke finally understood why he always felt a strange connection whenever he looked at Naruto. It wasn't just coincidence. They were both reincarnations of the sons of the Sage of Six Paths, Indra and Asura. For thousands of years, these two souls had been locked in a cycle of reincarnation, endlessly clashing, endlessly drawn to each other, bound together by fate, by a bond they never chose. Soulmates? More like eternal rivals forced into a cosmic script. Upon learning the truth, Sasuke's first instinct was rejection. He didn't want to be someone else's echo. He didn't want to be subtly influenced by some ancient will he never agreed to. He wanted to live as himself, not as Indra's shadow. In that manga world, it wasn't that obvious for him, but in Naruto, it was painfully clear. No matter how many times Konoha hurt him, Naruto remained loyal, blindly loyal. He treated the village like a first love he could never forget. It was ridiculous. If their roles had been reversed, Sasuke would have lost it ages ago. But Naruto, he forgave everyone, again and again, even those who didn't deserve it. It was terrifying, honestly.
I used to admire him. No parents, no love, and yet he was still cheerful, still warm, still hopeful. Now I see it. He wasn't just strong. He was being influenced. How much of the real Naruto is even left?
The more he thought about it, the more uncomfortable Sasuke became. If Naruto could be shaped so deeply by Asura's will, then what about himself? Was Indra's chakra influencing him the same way? Still, as much as Sasuke hated the idea, he couldn't deny the power that came with it. The reincarnation of Indra did grant him extraordinary potential, and if he wanted to take revenge on Itachi, he couldn't afford to throw that advantage away. He was torn. His expression shifted constantly. Rage, frustration, reluctance.
Forget it. If it's useful, I'll just ignore the rest for now.
In the end, Sasuke decided not to dwell on Indra's chakra, because really, what choice did he have? It wasn't like he could rip it out of himself. Unless he died, Indra's chakra would stay with him until it moved on to the next vessel. After finishing the entire manga, Sasuke turned to the memories of the Earth Boy whose body he now possessed. He began digging deeper into everything about Naruto. The anime, the analysis threads, the memes, the fan edits, the comment sections, and short-form videos. He skipped school that day. He stayed home, absorbed in memory after memory, devouring every piece of relevant information. And then, it happened again. Curious at first, he came across a short video titled, "Who's the Real Uchiha Genius?" At first, it was amusing, until he saw the comments.
Sasuke's just a cold-blooded freak. His clan gets massacred, his parents get killed, and all he does is awaken a single Tomoe Sharingan. Cold-hearted much? Seriously, a total failure. Anyone else would have awakened a Mangekyo on the spot, at least 3 Tomoe minimum. This guy's just a loser, period. Disbelief.
Second Pillar. That was the nickname they used for him online, a mocking one. He had seen it before and gotten mad about it more than once. Even in the modern world, they still called him that. His face turned crimson with rage and shame. The comments hit like a flurry of open-palmed slaps, each one sharper than the last. And worst of all, they weren't entirely wrong. From a purely analytical point of view, he had underperformed. The entire Uchiha clan was slaughtered. He watched his parents die. He watched Itachi kill them. And all he managed to awaken was a 1 Tomo Sharingan? It did look cold-blooded, detached.
But I'm not like that. I'm not cold. I was furious. I am furious. They're wrong. They don't know what I felt.
Over the next few days, Sasuke didn't return to school. He locked himself in his room, digging through more memories, trying to make sense of the world he'd been reborn into. He watched everything, not just Naruto-related content, but history, culture, science, society. He absorbed it all. The knowledge, the logic, the perspective, everything. And gradually, Sasuke changed. His worldview expanded. His thinking matured. He was no longer the impulsive boy of the past. He knew it was time to return to school. Hiding too long would only make the village elders suspicious. And so finally, he walked through the school gates once again.
Sasuke? Oh my god, he's back! Doesn't he look even more handsome now? He's glowing!
Ridiculous.
He was used to this by now, and he wasn't interested in entertaining it.
Sasuke, I'm so glad you're back. We were all worried. Are you okay?
A pink-haired girl rushed up to him, Sakura. The moment Sasuke saw her, he couldn't remain indifferent, because he remembered. In Boruto, Sakura had become his wife, and the mother of his child, his daughter, Sarada Uchiha.